we're going to kind of break down what we're doing and how we get people moved, right? I think what's happening, we're having trouble making people move, meaning like take action, do stuff, make offers, move, right? In terms of they're looking at how do we get them to actually move and do something. And the second piece, right, is holding them to their commitments.
Hey, this is Blake Sloan. I've been selling real estate over 14 years. Our team of highly trained professionals, along with our unmatched marketing, has sold thousands of homes here in the Myrtle Beach area, and this is how we do it.
And I just read that in terms of watching what's happening, watching deals fall through, just watching lead flow be really good, but deal flow not matching up to it. And so part of that's, how do I help you kind of figure out how to get that piece there? And part of that, we just got to go through just some helping them transform as people. And I think I had it in my notes. The word for that, I think, to look for with them is a transformative breakthrough, right? What does that mean, you think, transformative breakthrough for our clients?
To see things that they didn't see was possible before they started? Or?
Yeah, we have to have them see something that they didn't see before. They need a breakthrough to something that's much more possible. The key thing here is this. We have to have some breakthrough because we're not getting people breakthrough. So what's happening is we're getting stuck a lot of times just being order takers. So we meet them, we go to follow-up, we get them booked, and then what happens is we sign them or they meet with us, and then nothing really happens. It kind of fizzles out. And so the two things are happening. Number one, they're going buying something behind your back, or number two, they're just not buying anything at all. And so I think it's probably a combination of both. So what I want us to do is get really good at how do we make sure that we're able to get them to have some type of transformative breakthrough. What does that mean in terms of what we're doing? It means like they have some big aha that they're like, holy shit, we got to make sure we make this move now. And for us not to make this move is going to be very painful for us long term, right? That's something I think that's a big issue we want to make sure that we're doing. And so what do you think the big key is that makes that happen?
Energy.
Energy, okay. What else?
Finding out people's pain.
Pain, that's what I'm looking for. So 9 times out of 10, I ask everybody what the pain is, and guess what? They don't know. If I get a problem that comes to me, it gets up, they want to talk to the broker, want to talk to me, I ask what the pain is, no one knows. Why is that? Because you got multiple clients. A lot of times you may have gotten there a little bit in the discovery, but what's happened is not getting logged into the notes. And so we got to make sure that we're very good at this, because this is how you, number one, get them on the horse, and number two, how you keep them on the horse is understanding their pain. And so there's a couple different pieces that we go through that we talk about as somebody goes through a certified trainer as way, basically your consultant for them in their life. And so there's kind of a bunch of key things here that we have to do with clients. Number one, it's going to be teaching. What do you think that means in terms of dealing with our clients?
Understand.
Yeah, we want to teach them overall framework and ideas. So this is things that are attacking like, hey, look, here's what worldviews are like. And you're not using those words, but that's kind of what you're doing. You're helping them understand, hey, look, here's what worldview is. Here's what your worldview is. Here's what the potential worldview is for other stuff. We want to make sure that we're on top of that overall, right? So the first part of what we do here is, number one, teaching. The second piece we want to do here is training them, right? Training them. What do that mean? Different.
How to act in a situation.
This is have them internalize, aka believe, right? For them to internalize, believe what's going on in terms of what you're doing, what you're saying overall with what you're, and this can be anything from like what they need to do as homeowners, what they need to do as first-time home buyers, what they need to do as investors, what they need to do as home sellers, right? All this stuff, and it'll come together in a second of all these. So the third piece of this is coaching. So we're talking about today, coaching. What we're doing here is we're coaching them through this process. And the part of coaching we're talking about, and y'all, this is the last one so you can have it. Teaching, training, coaching, and consulting. You add all 4 of these up, it basically does one thing. It gets them to do shit. But the problem is you have to take it through a process, and in a way you have to process these people mentally to get them to see things you need them to see, to get them on the same page, and get them to feel the things they need to feel so they actually take action. And the part of coaching here is a series of asking questions. And what the asking question does, it helps uncover the pain, and specifically the feelings they have behind the pain. Why?
So that's what drove them to start the process to begin with.
Okay? Deeper. That's what has them actually make move. People move away from pain more so than they move towards pleasure. It's just how humans are. And so what I have to do as a really good coach and consultant here with my clients is got to make sure I'm very good at asking questions. I feel, just what I've been listening to, that we're kind of not going as deep as we should in the asking questions part. And so today what I'm talking about is give you some stuff that we talk about, things we learned in Certified Trainer. It's 13 key questions we have, and they're designed to help uncover some of this. Some of these are relevant, some of them aren't, but I want you to be able to add those to your arsenal. And when I was going back through and reviewing this, I was realizing that, hey, look, we're not really using them like we should be. Some of the newer people haven't even heard of them. So when I go back and say, how do we get much better at asking questions? Because the better I am asking questions, the more leverage I have as a salesperson, aka the ability to have them do shit. And not just that, now I have the ability to hold them into it. Why you have so many deals blown up? Because you don't know their pain. Why you have so many deals blown up? Because you don't have their pain logged, and you got 6 other clients, 10 other clients, and you can't remember who's what, so then you're too timid to actually take them back to the place of pain because you don't have the real data or the notes on what their actual problem is. You have the surface level, but not the real pain. And you have the cascade effect of how that pain's affecting their marriage, their relationship with their kids, because you don't have that log and you haven't gone deep enough to do so, which is why you don't have any leverage and you're ultimately just being an order taker. That's the main problem that we're running into right now. And so these are reasons that as this market is changing, as it's much more competitive, we have to get much better at, in addition to understanding the overall pieces of objection handling, right? Having the word tracks and all those pieces in that pain, right? So I'm looking for overall a couple things here. Looking for the facts about their current situation, about their life. But I've been looking for really 3 things overall with that. Looking for the feelings that come from that fruit, which is the fruit of their facts, right? So, talked about this, UIT. The fruit is what? That's just the reality of, like, what's the fruit of their current situation? Is it good? Is it bad? And I need to know both sides of that so I can use that to create some type of difference between where they are and where they need to be. I'm looking back at also the third piece of this, what their focus has been. AK, what got them there, what has them in their current situation, and if they continue to do that same exact thing, how are they going to end up in that same situation going forward, and what happens if they don't change? Because there's 2 types of people, right? People that continue to do the same thing, people that didn't know, but most of the people we talk to, they've been waiting for a year or 2 years to buy, they haven't bought yet. And the reason they haven't bought yet is because you haven't been able to find their pain enough to get them to the point where they actually make a move. And understand what the cost is and the feelings behind that, right? We ask them, what happens if you don't buy? It's one thing, but I'm face to face, say, what's going to happen? What's the feeling you have when you don't buy and you realize 12 months from now you missed out on that and you can't bring those memories down here with your family, whatever it is. You have to be able to go deep enough to get them to actually move. And we're missing out on these overall, at least in my opinion, when I'm just listening to some of the discovery questions, what we're going through in that. I'm looking for 2 things with my questions here. 3 things. Try to take them, number 1, to the pit. Talked about that before. The flip side of that, I want to have some difference there in terms of, can't remember the exact word, but I want to have a correlation between the peak. The peak is what? The opposite. So I'm creating this difference here they can see between the pit and the peak overall where they're at, which is super important. And once I have these, and they're in agreement, so hey, look, here's the pit I'm in right now, here's the peak I could be, here's the feelings behind it, then at that point, then I can give them the correct path, and they actually want to care about it. The problem is they don't care about your path until they understand about the pit and the peak they have. Why is that? Because they're not going to move until they understand their pain. Until you force them to feel the pain. Why don't they feel the pain? Because most people are so sedated in everything they do. We live in a time right now where people are sedated more than ever. More so in what? In their phones. They're definitely not going to really flinch when things don't happen the way they want. They just kind of keep going along until something happens that makes them reach out, which makes go online, which is one of the main things I always want to find out. What was the defining moment that made you go online and search? What was the defining moment that made you reach out to us about selling your home? I want to know what the discussion was between his husband and wife when they finally got pissed off enough to actually do something. But the problem is we're not going there enough. And the bigger problem is they're not going to tell you that on the first, second question. You have to find a way that you're good enough to layer questions in so that you're able to unlock the key to their mind and you can get them to understand themselves, so to speak. You with me on this? So, the key part here is these questions. I'm going to give you guys some stuff that we use this way. We use it in consulting. Now, here's the thing. I forgot to tell you what consulting is. Consulting is telling people what to do. So after I go through the teaching part, right, here's a framework, here's ideas, here's things that are possibilities, right? I have this overall piece of training. We're able to understand and believe what's out there. I have coaching where I ask questions about their pain, their feelings. And at that point, once I understand all of these, have them in agreement, then I'm going to have consulting, which is then I tell them what they need to do, and I need to be in alignment and a connection with them so they understand what I'm saying and that they're in agreement to what we want to do. You guys with me on this? And when it comes to this point, if you do it right, they think that it's all their idea. All done through a series of questions. Now, the thing I want you to talk about, the reason I'm sharing this and writing this out, is when I'm in this coaching phase, which we're going to talk about today, the one thing I can't do is what? I can't start consulting. I cannot tell them what to do while I'm asking questions. The minute I move to consulting while I'm asking questions is the minute they shut down. And so I want you all to understand that I have to have this insatiable curiosity when I have these questions. What does that mean there? Insatiable curiosity.
You have to actually care and be curious about their life and why are they doing what they're doing.
I like that. Deeply care, and I want you to actually be curious about the why. Not to just get through discovery, not to just try to sign them. I need to be an elite agent here and think about how do I get them to write the contract in 2 weeks instead of 6 months. I don't need to do all this stuff to get them to sign, but I need to do all this stuff to get all the dominoes slapped in the right way so they actually buy something from me in a short period of time, or they actually list something with me in a short period of time. I don't got to track them down for 6 or 8 months trying to get them to sign something with me. Does that make sense? So it's very, very important for us to look at that, understanding these framing questions initially are just entry points for us to come and have an entry point, and at that point I'm going to take them deeper into something else. So every question I'm going to show you has a second and third level question based on what their answer is to you.